What up, everybody? It's your man, Bad News, Mr. 1985. Uptown Fighters. Welcome to another episode of Disciples of the Boom Bap. We do this each and every Tuesday. We have a very special guest by the name of Unlearn the World of every dope MC. West Coast. What up, bro?
What's up, guys?
Chilling.
Yo, welcome to another episode. I'm your man, Herrick, second half of Disciples of the Boom Bap. Like News said, we got a special guest, Unlearn the World. What's going on with you this evening, sir?
I am chilling, brothers. Thank y'all for having me. Glad to be here. Glad to reconnect with you, News, and glad to meet you, Harris. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? I love the new format. You know what I'm saying? And you got the graphics popping. It's a full-on production. We came a long way from IG, baby.
Hey, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied, cuz.
You know what I'm saying? Long way from IG.
Yes, we on some other stuff. That's what's up. Appreciate the compliment, man. Definitely.
Indeed.
Definitely. So listen, let the people know where you from, and let the people know how long you've been rhyming and how long you've been into the situation of this music.
Oh man, I mean, my whole life damn near, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, born and raised Washington Heights, Uptown. For those who don't know, Washington Heights, right above Harlem, New York, born and raised, 80s baby, 90s raised, all of that. Grew up in the golden era, you know what I'm saying? Raucous Records era, Loud Records era, Rough Rider era, mixtape era, all of that, you know what I'm saying? That was my come up. That was my formative years, so to speak, my coming of age, you feel me? And then from there, just kind of moving and grooving through the whole music industry, but mainly hip hop culture. And then around 2003, met a girl, moved out to California, had a whole family, you know what I'm saying? We're still doing the music thing, but working a 9 to 5 because music ain't paying shit. And you know, finally got really tired of that after a while, and then really started to make the move into arts education, right? Using all the skills that I learned as an artist, all the skills that I learned and things that I learned in the music industry, and started to apply them to like teaching kids and serving as a mentor. And that kind of gave me a new trajectory, so to speak. So, you know what I'm saying? What I do presently now is, aside from rapping at a high level and at a high clip, I also, you know, am an arts educator, and I run a whole hip hop nonprofit based out of Oakland, California called Hip Hop for Change. And I lecture around the country and around the world about hip hop history, about hip hop being a form of healthy self-expression, personal growth and wellness, you know, and artist development. We do a lot of things as an organization. We've been around 13 years. I've been around with the organization since 2018. I was the education director. And as of January, that would be my third year as executive director. So I now run the organization.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's dope. That's dope. So
do you go for it?
Go ahead, Harris. Go ahead.
No, I said, do you feel like this is a little bit more fulfilling for you opposed to the music, or is this like, you know, in between? Or you think eventually if you do start rapping, you'll probably make this like a full-fledged type of situation?
Well, it is a full-fledged situation. I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? This plus music is what's paying my bills. I get paid to be me, which is a very luxurious thing when we think about it. You know what I'm saying? Not too many of us, especially Black and brown folks, we don't get paid to be ourselves. In fact, we get financially incentivized not to. You know what I mean? In many cases and in many circles, you know, or we get financially incentivized to be a version of ourselves culturally and personally that doesn't necessarily align with our values. So that's a whole other conversation. But for me, I think the move over the last few years has really to integrate everything, right? I know too many teaching artists who came up in hip hop, who love the culture, who got degrees or got a job in education, and they keep their world super separate. Nobody knows they rap on the side. Nobody knows they a beat maker. Nobody knows they break dance. They do all of that like as an alias. Like they put the Clark Kent glasses on and they go to the school, or they go to the day, you know, the Boys and Girls Club, wherever they work, and they keep the world separate because they feel like that's the best way to be professional. Where I think I'm in a unique position where I'm actively trying to integrate more and more, right? The more I am in arts education and the more that I do stuff with the nonprofit, that all is in lockstep and is in favor of my brand as an artist. And it's always been my brand. My artist name is Unlearn the World. So why not be an educator, especially in this messed up education climate that we're in? Like that to me is the challenge. And I think that the more I continue both in both worlds. More I continue to put out music, but just as much as I try to expand the nonprofit, as I try to do more educational work, I think it just kind of reinforces the entire brand that is Unlearn the World at the end of the day.
Can you tell us where people can maybe donate to your foundation and the website?
Yeah, certainly. So you have the website up on the screen. You can hit that donate link and you can do a one-time donation, or you could be a recurring donor. Your money is going to not only help younger artists, but it also pays for free programming in schools, for those schools in East Oakland and in parts of LA that can't afford arts education. We're there to provide free arts education, to compensate artists for coming into the classroom and serving as mentors. We also train local artists to be educators. So you're being trained in dynamic mindfulness, trauma-informed care, restorative justice practices, on top of you specializing in your craft and showing the world what you're about as an artist and as an expressive creative. We try to kind of fortify you with all these additional professional skills so that you can maintain a classroom of 30 kids who all need the thing that you're coming to give them. You feel me? So you can donate from the website. We also just recently launched a membership program. So it's similar to a donation program. Only difference is that you become a member of Hip Hop for Change, a card-carrying member that has access to our events at a discount, access to merch, other opportunities. We also have courses on our website in terms of activism, education, artist development. So you get access to all of these things. If you're in the Bay Area, you get access to our studio spaces. We have a recording studio in Oakland. We have a film space and a recording studio and a fashion house in San Francisco. So as a member of Hip Hop for Change, depending on the tier you're in, you get access to all of that. And I just think that it's a really dope way to really empower the artist community to get involved with us.
Most definitely.
So do you have other artists come in, and look at what you're doing and try to, help you out with it? Or is this solo dolo, you just by yourself?
No, I mean, we have a team. I think at the high end, we had about 15 hip hop educators that I trained personally all throughout the country. Okay. Our main thing is obviously Oakland. So that's Oakland and San Francisco, Bay Area. But then we have a team in LA. I was just having conversations this morning about building up a team in Houston. We're starting to make inroads in New York City. So we got like our vendor ID in New York City Board of Ed. I have a couple of educators out there who do a lot of work in terms of one-off workshops and things of that nature. So we're continuing to expand. The whole goal is to make this a national recognized organization, because hip hop education work is a national movement, right? A lot of people in the culture are on the kind of like the periphery of it, right? When we look at Drink Champs or some of these other platforms, you're never seeing or getting interviews from hip hop educators. You're only getting the artist, you're getting the producer, you're getting the legacy act with the cool ass stories of being in an elevator with Tupac, or what Big said before he died. Like, you're always getting that, but you're not getting like the average Joe MC who grew up in the culture and is just as nice as some of your favorite MCs who made the choice of saying, I'm going to teach youth. And I think with the music industry, we often lose sight of how important it is to have that intergenerational communication, that whole each one teach one methodology that's been embedded in hip hop since day one. We lose sight of the cultural aspect of this culture because everybody trying to get a brand deal and everybody trying to get a bag. So we're just trying to restore what's already been there from its inception and create the community-based counter narrative to what the music industry will have you believe hip hop is, right? But people like yourselves and myself, we on a frequency where we know that hip hop is so much larger than the music that we see, and it's actually a vehicle to change your entire life and to create your reality.
That's very, very, very much so. Very much so.
So I want to commend you and say that my hat goes off to you, because it's not too many people like you. So, my hat definitely goes off to you. Congratulations on that, and keep the movement going, man. Like, for real. So, aside from that, are you working on new projects? Are you working on new material? Like, tell the people what you're doing.
Yeah, no, we outside with it, man. February, I dropped the album. My latest album is called Midnight Crisis. It's my first release on Rock Nation distribution. So we did some amazing business with Rock Nation. Aside from me, yeah. So aside from me being an artist with Rock Nation Distribution, the unique aspect of what we did in this partnership is that we brought on the entire nonprofit. So Hip Hop for Change is an imprint under Rock Nation Distribution. And the one thing that I hear a lot of artists talk about, and especially music industry heads, is that there is no artist development. So we're trying to fulfill that need by creating an artist development course. So as a pathway to get to Rock Nation Distribution, we have artists going through a course where they learn about branding, they learn about building their creative and their professional team. They have access to financial literary resources or financial literacy resources. And we're also giving them personality tests. They're learning about their own traumas and how to heal that. They're learning how to manage stress, all of these different things that I wish I knew as an artist trying to come up in the music industry, in terms of not only regulating myself and checking myself, but also regulating my nervous system, because this whole industry will have your whole nervous system jammed up, you know, and then we wonder why artists self-sabotage. We wonder why artists self-medicate. We wonder why they feel the need to bring 30 dudes with them in a club and spend all this bread, and one dude get into a fight and now the whole club is suing you. Like we do that out of a sense of responsibility and the psychological constructs that we agreed to from the neighborhoods that we grew up in. Yeah, and at a certain point, I think it's important for people, OGs in the culture or mentors, to facilitate the changing of a mentality. But if that's baked into the artist development to begin with, I think we're better off. We approach the culture differently. So our entire online course comes with a workbook. They learn week to week exactly how to put together a project and roll it out. And then we offer them the option of releasing the music through Rock Nation or releasing it however they want. If they want to try to go get a publishing deal or a record deal, they're more than happy, you know, they're more than welcome to do so. But we have that as a default option for them. And what's so unique about the Rock Nation thing is that their analytics and their platform gives you so much information about who's actually listening to your music, you know. And I think it's one thing to have all that data. It's another thing to know how to use it, right? We're on these social media sites all the time and we look at our analytics and we just see numbers and we see the numbers increase, but we don't know how to translate that into monetization, translate that into brand deals, you know, that align with who we are as artists. More particularly, what social causes can we as artists align ourselves with so that we raise our own visibility? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not me, maybe it's the female MC who wants to talk about domestic violence. Maybe she's seen her mom get beat. Maybe she was in an abusive relationship. So the question for me is always, how do we connect that one artist to this social cause so that they can be an ambassador for this movement? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the idea throughout all of this. So the project came out in February. It debuted at number 8 on iTunes. I was really happy about that because I literally saw my album cover right above Cardi B and right below Jay-Z's Blueprint and Tupac's greatest hits.
Let's go.
That's
Let's
wild.
go.
Like that's, you know what I'm saying? You know, like the child in me, the childhood MC in me saw that and did a cartwheel. You know what I'm saying? So it was very fulfilling, and we're gonna spin the block on it. So we're doing a deluxe that we're working on right now. I just finished working on 2 new songs. I'm probably gonna add another 6 to the entire body of work. We're gonna re-release it with visuals. You know, we got a cool situation in a partnership with Tidal. So for those who want to stream my music, I don't advise people streaming my music on Spotify. I advise them to go to either Apple Music or Tidal. Right? You can not only get access to the album, but you get access to an extra song which features Styles P on it. You get access to all the exclusive records that I'm sending or I'm just playing around with and I'm uploading. I have playlists. I curate playlists of independent artists. So independent artists want to lock in with us, I feature independent artists on my playlist as well. And if you want to pay me, you can pay me direct by Cash App. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know, what Spotify is doing, where they're taking all of your money and then they're giving you some colorful wrap-up report at the end of the year to make you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, we're playing a different game. You know what I'm saying? And I should have probably have stood on business way before a Rock Nation deal to say, hey, we're not fucking with Spotify. You know what I'm saying? But you know, what's integrity if it's not challenged? You feel me? So like, why not take the album that has the most visibility in my career and stand on business that way and do business differently? So, you know, just throughout all of that, just recognizing like where the value is, recognizing where my community is and how to build my community. So like, aside from the digital platforms, we're going to, definitely do vinyl, do hard copy CDs, a lot of other kind of merch things are in the work. Shout out to Honor the Culture. It's a platform. You can check them out, honorculture.com. They do merch for a lot of underground MCs. You could, Sean Price, Billy Gans from MOP. They got my merch up there. They really do and they sell hip hop collectibles. You know what I mean? So I partnered with them in order for them to distribute my merch, and we're working on a new website and all these different things. So just kind of thinking about business differently is what was the goal of this project. But aside from that, the project is amazing. I have some amazing producers. Actually, some of the students and participants from our program as Hip Hop for Change got producer credits on this album. Nice. You know what I mean? We collaborated with them. We worked with them. They opened up for me at shows in the Bay Area a lot of the time. So that was kind of a full circle moment in the making of this project. And then, I got dope features. Like my last album, The God That Sins, had all the features you could imagine. We had Ghostface on there, Benny the Butcher. We had Royce the 5'9". We had Sean Price. We had a whole slew of hardcore MCs. This one, we went a little light, but we still kept it busy. We still kept it hip hop. So I got my man Graph on there. I got ad libs from DMX on there, prominently featured in a bunch of different records. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure that those got cleared and all of that. We got Styles P, like I said. So like, we kept it intentional with the features, and I didn't want to make this too feature heavy. There are other collaboratives from lesser known artists there who are just in my circle, just creative folks, but it's an international project. So I got producers from the Ukraine. I got producers from Germany. I got artists from Ghana on this record. So you're getting an eclectic mix, but you're also getting that boom bap classic hip hop feel, and I'm taking people on a journey. It's a lot more adult, a lot more cinematic. I tried to step up the aesthetics of it. I try to make it sound expensive as fuck. You know what I mean? So that what you're getting is not, you're not just getting hip hop, you're getting like boom bap luxury. You feel me? And that's kind of the angle that I'm trying to go. And like I said, we're dropping another 6 songs in the summer, visuals, music videos, all of those things are going to happen. And then we're probably going to close the year out strong with either an EP or something powerful. So always working, always building content and building the catalog.
So let me ask you a question. What made you name the album Midnight Crisis? What's behind that?
Oh man, a lot of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was getting like in my method acting bag with this album. Like a year ago, I came up with the idea because for 2 reasons, and this is gonna be like a long drawn out story, so I apologize in advance. Number one, with everything going on in the world socially, I feel that we are indeed, in fact, in a global crisis, right? And that global crisis has less to do with racism and politics and all the things we argue about, and more to do with the crisis of the soul. Right? Because all of those things are a symptom of a larger existential crisis. I'm a middle-aged man, so often we talk about a middle-age crisis and what am I doing with my life and all of that. But then more particularly because of we feel almost ominous in terms of the world that we're living in, and that like we're on the brink of destruction. There is a clock, there's an actual clock that the government uses to determine how close mankind is to annihilation. The government uses this clock. Based on most people's assessment in terms of reports, they say that clock is now at 1 minute to midnight. In terms of not being at the point of no return for whatever's going to come after. Right. So rather than calling it a midlife crisis, I said, no, we're in a midnight crisis, because it encompasses not only the global issues that we see every day when we're thumbing through Instagram or putting on CNN, but it's the existential crisis in us that got us frustrated, that got us eating the wrong things, thinking the wrong things, acting the wrong way, enticed and addicted to toxicity, that toxicity being monetized, right? People being so overwhelmed and overstimulated that we just put ourselves on autopilot, and the autopilot itself being monetized by corporations. We're fucked up.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And this album is an exploration of how fucked up we are from my personal life to the rest of the world. I'm not here to give y'all solutions. I'm here to tell y'all we have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, the solution, I could be real preachy if I wanted to, but that's not the best approach. The approach is, let's acknowledge first that we have problems. And let me show you through my artistry how I'm dealing with these collective problems that we have. You know what I mean? Let me just put some shit out on Front Street, whether it's my relationship, whether it's, you know, my point of view on politics or other things. You know, let's really get into it and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the entire concept of the album. And like when I go back into the method acting bag, I literally sat in my living room listening to all the beats for the album with a blue LED light on, similar to Harris, what you got in the background. I just sat on my couch with that whole vibe for a year working on this album. You feel me? Which is why the album cover looks the way it is. You know, I'm in a North African Muslim garb. I'm smoking. That's what I do. That's my vibe. You know, so I wanted to just kind of reflect all of that, all these aspects of my personality you can find on this album.
Got you. Yeah, I was definitely about to ask. I was definitely about to ask you what was the difference between this particular album, the God That Sins, opposed to the next one, but you definitely clarified.
Yeah, I mean, what I would add to that is I've said it before. I think the God That Sins was my most godly album, right? Because of all the features and everything. It showed you where I can go. This is more human. This is more like, let me kind of pull it back a notch and not do such, you know, I'm not really trying to flex. I'm really trying to hone in on my own humanity and just trying to put that on display. So like, that's why there's the contrast. You see, just similar to y'all, like you in the red, you in the blue. It's similar to my albums. I had that album was a deep, dark blood red, right? Whereas this album is a very cool, serene blue. You know what I mean? Like you could call it Nipsey blue, you could call it Midnight blue, whatever, Jay-Z blue, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever blue tickles your fancy, you feel me? That was the idea, and it was intentional to have that kind of contrast.
Nice.
Yes. That's dope.
Go ahead, News.
So when you get prepared for an album, I heard you say that you sat in your living room with the blue light and listened to the beats and stuff like that. So do you just listen to beats and you get concepts, or you already have concepts for the beat, or is it a mixture of both?
It's definitely a mixture of both. I really did a lot in this album in terms of like intentional linear thinking. This is probably, I mean, I think my last two albums were albums where I said I'm starting an album and I'm going to work on it, as opposed to in the past where like you have a collection of songs and you just like, all right, well, let's try to make an album out of it. Let me find some more beats to fill between this song and this song. Now we have the party record in between the two hardcore records, or however you curate it, you feel me? Whereas this one, it was like, I'm going to work on the A&Ring of the album. I'm going to find the beats. I have some concepts in terms of songs that I'm looking for a beat, a particular sound or a feel in a beat to match it, or I'll listen to beats and then it'll give me the ideas. It'll give me the lyrics. Sometimes the lyrics just come to you, or sometimes you have kind of like sketches of something and then a certain beat will articulate it for you. So I played around with that a lot. I played around with, when I was in my studio session, sometimes a lot of the songs weren't fully written. So I'm in this booth freestyling. I'm in the booth really, you know, doing the punching method that I've heard so many people talk about, or the Jay-Z Lil Wayne method. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going all over the place. I'm a linear writer. Like I love writing. I have my rhyme book since I was in high school. I still have them like archives. You know what I mean? And I love being in my notepad on my iPhone writing lyrics. I'm a fan of the written word, but there is something very liberating about being in the booth and just kind of going with the cadence, or being in the booth and just going with, you know, natural freestyle ability. I've been freestyling since I was 10 years old. So this ain't nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so just kind of playing around with these different approaches of creativity was super fun in some of these records that I was on. So, and maybe, you know, if you're really paying attention, you'll probably be able to hear it. You'll hear it when I'm like, oh, that's miracle technical rap versus, oh, he just, you know what I mean? He just swagging on this one. Like he just kind of on his, you know, and sometimes it'll have both because different verses have a different emotion. So it was a different approach in that, but it was intentional in that I was A&Ring it. I was listening to beats. I had the concept already in my mind. I started kind of articulating the aesthetics and how I wanted it to feel and look and all of that. And then the words were coming. And then, you know, then it was studio time. I had all of that ready. I had songs ready. And then it was like, all right, now we're in the studio. So then, you know, I could record anywhere on God's green earth. I have a studio. I literally have a studio in my office. I love to go to New York and record in Washington Heights because it humbles me. It reminds me of where I'm from. But in this one, you know, I locked in again. I went to LA. Shout out to Union Recording Studios because they gave me a whole room and We just banged out the whole album in that one room. Shout out to the Legacy room. It was that one room, me and my engineer Wash, who's a brilliant engineer, brilliant producer, sound master. And we just locked in, him and me. You know what I'm saying? There weren't really too many other people in the room with us when we do what we do, you know. So it was having that ritual, you know what I mean? And I learned something from the producer David Banner. He did it on a show called Rhythm Roulette, where he saged the studio. Every time he had a session, he stages the studio to clean the space. So that was my mentality going in. So I'm coming in with the Palo Santo, I'm coming in with the sage, and it's Hollywood, so you don't know what the fuck was going on. Like, you never know what's going on in there. So I just wanted my space to be sanctified, right? Because if I'm, you know, I'm an artist who really believes in being a recipient or a vessel for higher levels of consciousness. So if I'm creating the environment for me to be receptive to that, you know what I mean? And edibles always helps with that too. So you're in that mode, and magical things happen. You feel me? So like that was it was a really an amazing healing experience. But then it was just great to feel like an artist. I don't think there's too many rappers who feel like artists. You know what I mean? Like you recording in your man's crib. You might not be able to afford studio time, or you recording in your room with your laptop. Yeah. You mastered Pro Tools or Cubase or whatever cracked version of Fruity Loops you got. Like everybody does that, you know what I'm saying? And like we build our offices and we build our studios that. But for me, it was like, yo, let me be expensive with this. Let me spend money getting on a flight, going to LA, getting in a studio in Hollywood, staying in a hotel, vibing with my people there, going to industry parties. Like I've done that for the last 3 albums. And the last 3 albums, I would argue, are the best albums I've ever created because I allowed myself to go on those artist vacations. You know what I mean? Right. And if there's one thing I could recommend for any artist who's doing their work, it's dope to be in your house and record. I've done most of my recording career has been in my house recording myself. You know what I'm saying? Recording myself, doing podcasts and all of that. I would want every artist to at least save up some money and say, you know what, for 3-4 days, I'm going to be the artist that I want to be.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like I'm going to be the artist. If Def Jam gave me the budget, this is what I would do. Let me give myself the budget and do that same thing. It don't got to be for a whole album. It could be for 3 songs.
Yeah.
Right.
But I promise you, those are going to be the best 3 songs you would have ever created. And now you know why. Because you allowed yourself to be in the space to be fully yourself. Yeah. Not the dad version of you, not the husband version of you, not the bus driver version of you, or whatever your day job is. You allowing yourself to be, I am whatever artist name I am, this is who I am. And when you're coming from that level of authenticity within yourself, it changes the entire way you approach music.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Piggy,
so let me go ahead, Harry.
No, I was about to say, just piggybacking off of that, I just wanted to have a little segment, a little break to let the people see you get a little busy. I got a little clip.
There you go.
How you get down.
Pretty grown, passport stands for all the jetties flown. Pretty grown. My inner war documentary on video. My baby texting me pictures with her titty shown. My Messiah complex is God bless. I had a stage, I did a show, they called a bomb threat. I had it then, I got it now, and I got next. Head above water, I'm the monster in the Loch Ness. Only running my route, fuck around and find out. New York City, my home, I treat the Bay like my hideout. Years ago, I was in the hole, I had to climb out. I was in the red, back to black, Amy Winehouse. Make them call a timeout. 3 seconds left, hit the buzzer beater. Leave the arena with a diva, don't even sign out. I take your top 5 list, I cover it with whiteout. They too busy coming up with shit to lie about. Word of the Timberland stamps on my boots. I'ma pull all these industry plants from day roots. The young boys who turn your block into Beirut. They travel in the hood, they on they eat, pray, shoot. Listen, we took the King's English and made a remix. Years later, we make the politicians squeamish. They used to say we can't achieve it, now we be it. When I see an opportunity, I seize it. Nigga, we lit. Woo. Beware and where who to speak it. Pillow talking to women who you know can't keep a secret. They wanna ride the wave until they seasick. They wanna stand on business, I make them paraplegic. Kanye's right, my exposure isn't decent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy.
That's a Punchline Academy for that.
It is busy.
Yes,
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah,
I wasn't going over there doing that.
That was amazing. That was really, you know, people tagged me in it. They was coming to Oakland. Shout out to Punchline Academy, Shade 45, Sirius XM. They was coming to Oakland. They was asking people to get tagged. And, you know, I never like, I'm very bougie as an artist. So it's far be it from me to try to ask people to tag me or some shit. Right. Like, I just feel like, you know, like artists, we get weird like that. We just get weird, but people tag me nonetheless. So then they hit me, they put me in a group chat with everybody else. And just, you know, as a form of validation, you're in a room and you're in a group chat with all the other spitters you know in Oakland. Right. So I walk into this room. Shout out to Hyro. Those are my big bros. It was in Hyro headquarters. No better place to do it. And I'm walking in and I'm seeing the homie. I'm seeing the little homie who comes to my studio. I'm seeing the big A+ is there. Like, I'm seeing all the people I know who get busy on the mic in Oakland. So it was just kind of validation for me in that respect, just to be in that circle. And it did numbers, man. I think I would consider it my first viral clip if it's even called viral or considered viral. Like, I don't know 200K views versus 1 million plus. I don't know what the math is on that to determine something as viral. I think I was actually asking ChatGPT about that the other day. Like, what's viral? Like, what's what's the record? Like, if you're at 199,000, does that mean you're not viral? Like, what's the tipping point? But it gave me high visibility. A lot of OGs started following me and liking the post. Ice-T, Sway. I mean, I was seeing wild names liking it and giving comments. Like, oh shit, who? Ice-T was the one though. You couldn't tell me nothing for the day. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing, nigga. SVU Ice-T, nigga. What? Nah, married to Coco Ice-T, nigga.
Oh man,
surviving the game Ice-T. Nah, yo, we not. You can't talk to me today. You know what I mean? So like, you know, but. It was a statement. I just wanted to show people I get busy. Like, I do songwriting. That's like I consider myself a hip hop artist because I think there's so much negative connotation with the word rapper nowadays. Yeah. And MC seems to be like a lost term. When you say MC, they think you from like the 80s and you want to rap like Run DMC.
Right. Let me say this. There is a difference between an MC and a rapper, and people need to understand that, man.
No, 100%. You're 100% right? But because of how antiquated people have associated the term MC versus rapper, and rapper now being almost synonymous with the N-word in many circles, right? When King Vaughn gets shot in a club in Atlanta, they say rapper when they really mean nigga. You know what I'm saying? When some rapper does some toxic bullshit, they call him a rapper first. They don't call him an MC.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? If KRS-One went and punched the woman in the face, they're gonna call him a rapper. They're not gonna call him an MC. That's KRS-One.
As hard as he's tried,
I doubt that he would ever. But you understand the point that I'm making. I like to just kind of be a little bit more nuanced and extra. So I call myself a hip hop artist because what I do in terms of my form of creativity is always rooted in hip hop culture. Whether I'm making a beat, whether I'm teaching a class, whether I'm spitting 1,000 balls at niggas, like it's always gonna be in the honor and in the name of hip hop. So I call myself a hip hop artist. But I wanted to show people on this rap, when it comes to this rapping, I can do it. Exactly. So shout out to Punchline Academy again.
So with this album, did you have any pressure as opposed to the other albums because it was under Rock Nation? And if you don't mind telling the people, how did that become about with the Rock Nation distribution situation do?
Yeah, so I put pressure on myself. Okay. I think the entire pursuit of the Rock Nation situation was to give myself the catalyst to take myself even more seriously than I already take myself. Okay. So I was already kind of in the system because Rock Nation distribution used to be called EQ.
EQ Distro.
So I had access to that platform, and they were starting to rebrand it. And I said, this will be the perfect time to offer them this idea that I have of partnering with a hip hop based nonprofit to do artist development work. So, I made my wiggles. I got to the office. I offered, I met with Rel Carter, who's Jay-Z's nephew. his whole team, his whole artist relations team. I gave them the idea. I told them, like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Not only am I an artist, that's cool, but that's not what I'm here for. Because I could produce, I could distribute my music anywhere on God's green earth. It doesn't matter for me, right?
Yeah, right.
But this matters for what the movement is. And the movement is hip hop for change. And the movement is taking artists from the next generation and giving them the tools and the resources that I didn't have when I was 19 and 20 years old trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them that. So when I pitched them the idea, I seen their eyes perk up and they said, we got you. Like, whatever access you need, you want us to come and speak to them. You want us to come on panels. You want us to vibe with us. You want us to help them analyze their analytics. We can do that for them. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, cool. That will be the partnership. And more particularly for anybody who buys my album, a portion of the proceeds goes back to the organization. It don't even go to me. Like, this isn't the album for me to get rich off of and start buying Bentleys and stunting on niggas. It's really about how do I show a proof of concept of how a hip hop artist can be a social enterprise and actually do things for the culture within the culture. I didn't want to get signed by Atlantic because Atlantic, they sign the culture, but they're not the culture.
Yeah,
they're a record label. And record labels come with capitalism. Record labels come with white supremacy. Record labels come with tech bros. You know what I'm saying? You name it, they claim it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the Universal situation. I didn't want to do any of the funny, goofy shit that record labels have been known to do. I wanted to go with something that's been cultural. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the era of Jay-Z. Right, we're celebrating 30 years of Reasonable Doubt. I was there. I grew up. My older brother was on Rockefeller Street team during Reasonable Doubt era. I remember him coming home with the stickers, with the CDs. I had a Rockefeller shirt with the champagne bottle and the R. I was the hardest nigga in 11th grade. You know what I mean? So I seen that trajectory. So to see him now curating the Super Bowl with that partnership with the NFL, for Rock Nation to be one of the largest entertainment companies in the industry and on the planet, from a dude from Marcy Projects, bro, that's culture. Yeah, that's the remix culture of hip hop music, right? So whether it was Rock Nation, Revolt, like some of these platforms that we know come from culture, that's who I wanted to align with more so than getting just like a regular record deal. So for me, that was the key. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them for believing in the vision of what I was trying to do. And we're going to work on a youth album. We're going to start curating that and putting that out so that, our youth can be given more exposure, more resources, more game. And we're just going to keep trying to run it up.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
That's dope. That's real dope.
So I got.
Go ahead, Harry.
I was just about to ask, how did this particular single come about? Were you guys in the studio? Did somebody link up with you to get the feature? Did you ask for it? Or?
Shout out to Ab, because me and Ab know a lot of mutual people, because I've been going down to LA for the last 4 years, right? Just trying to work on music and making my wiggles out there, and really tapping in with the underground LA hip hop scene, right?
Right.
And for an East Coast dude, we hear about LA often like, oh, you can't go to certain hoods and whatever the case is. And some of that may be true if you're trying to do hood rat shit with your friend. Like if you're trying to do that, then you may not want to be in certain areas wearing certain hats and being affiliated with certain people. I'm about hip hop. It's about music. So meeting mutual people and having mutual friends is like, okay, can you, first for me, when it comes to any feature, it's about having the record. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's always like, so for me, like whether it was Skyzoo or Nems or Benny or anybody I've ever gotten on a record, I had the record first. And I thought, and I'm playing A&R in my head, and I'm like, this needs a Benny verse. This needs a Skyzoo verse. When I had this record, I was like, this needs an Absol verse. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to the record, like I got this clip from Love, Death, and Robots, some obscure clip from an episode of Love, Death, and Robots is the intro. In the chorus, I have KRS-One talking about like perceiving God. I'm like, this is the shit that Absol is about, and this is the shit that I'm about in my life. Like, so it made sense, right? So then for him, so not only did he give me a verse, he gave me a hook. I'm like, oh shit, we got a verse and a hook. You know what I'm saying? It was. I got the same feeling as when I did the record with Ghostface. Not only did I get the verse, I got a hook, and he was talking shit. So I was just like
Yeah.
Say less, yo. Like, let's do, and it's just really, I wish I was in the studio with him. It would have been an honor. And but then that's when things get a little bit more expensive because these things cost. It's not make no mistake about it. If you are an underground artist who doesn't have a viral degree of motion, you're gonna have to pay. Like that's just like music industry 101. Don't think any of this shit is free. Don't think these dudes is keying with each other because they like each other. That's not. They're creating cultural moments because they paid for cultural moments.
Yeah, we're not doing that on a 3-day weekend.
Exactly. I could only pay for the verse. I couldn't pay for the music video and all the extra shit that would go, which would solidify. I mean, it's an investment. It would solidify things, right?
Yeah.
You see me with Absol, you see me with any of these people, I'd be out of here. But then it's like, well, how do you keep that going, right? Because then you got to pay for all of that, and that's not even the marketing. Because now it's like, if I got a whole ass Absol record or any artist and I got a whole ass video, how am I getting it on BET? How am I getting it on these platforms or outlets? Who's going to know about it? How am I getting it to terrestrial radio? Right? I mean, before you blink, you're spending $100,000 on an underground rap record. I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Salute, shout out for the verse. Thank you. I'll do my little 90-second reel of my verse and like, let's get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? We're rolling on a budget out here, but I think the record is super dope. Shout out to Absol again, and I think we just did the damn thing.
Nice.
So when you did it, when you reached out to him for the record, did you know him beforehand, or did you just create a relationship with him through the record?
Through the record, really, and it's through mutual people because what artists don't know often is the price of the verse depends on who comes to them with the opportunity, right? If it's random homeboy who says, "Yo, I got money to get you for a verse," and he's not really locked in with homeboy, he gonna give homeboy a different place than his partner who comes and says, "Yo, my man, I vouch for him, whatever the case is." So I got that. You know what I'm saying? Relationships is better than money in many cases, but money and relationships, you do well. You understand? So for me, it was about like, all right, well, who do I know and who have I developed enough of a trust equity with to make this play happen? You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is what we're trying to do, whatever the case is. If I came to them on some middleman business type thing, it probably wouldn't have happened. But I spent 2-3 years developing relationships with certain people, not with the expectation of, I want to get a feature. It was just, I know these people and I've locked in with them enough for them to trust me and what I do and respect me as an artist. So when I come to them, they know it's not on some funky bullshit. I'm not trying to act, I'm asking for a favor, but I'm not asking for a favor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, yo, plug me so I could do what I need to do. Put me in position as opposed to, yo, fam, I ain't got it like that. But if you could, you know what I mean? That's when we get into the, like, please listen to my demo type shit that just, you don't want to be.
Yeah. You don't want to be known as that guy. You don't want to be known as that guy at all.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so for me, it was about, and features in general, it's about what's the most authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going to be, what's most on brand for me? And I think the one leg up I have in comparison to other artists in the field is that I know my brand very well. I'm very locked in on who I am and what I represent as a member of this culture. So for me, and because I grew up in A&R offices throughout my entire childhood, I know how to curate records. I know how, like, I got this beat needs to go with this artist, I'm not going to put some random whoever or try to do a feature with a random whoever because they got a little motion and now I'm just trying to ride the wave. It's like, nah, Absol could have been ice cold and I would have still wanted an Absol verse because I fuck with Absol, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could have been any artist. If I fuck with them, that's who that's, so it always has to be authentic to the brand of the artist. And I think that when I curate and do those features, it's very organic in that sense.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was waiting for you to ask your question. You know, that your famous question.
No. Oh. So, again,
famous question time. Okay.
I almost forgot about this segment. That's great. So, look.
Yeah.
We got a segment where we talk about if you had a producer and you had an artist, dead or alive, the feature on the album, who would it be?
It has to be hip hop.
No, it could be whoever you want. Whoever you want.
Okay. I think in this current era, I mean, the child in me wants a Biggie Smalls and a DJ Premier beat, right? That I need that just for life, just for the culture. I think right now I would take. I want to say Tupac. No. I want to say Tupac, but Tupac is hit or miss, right? Like, I mean, it's a whole other conversation in terms of his catalog and how well it's aged. We could do that, but I think right now I would still want a Biggie verse and Pusha T, Biggie and Pusha T on the same record.
Okay.
With maybe Conductor producing.
Stupid. Okay? He's talking your language,
I think that does something different. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a breakout record, but that's one of them ones that I think that if we locked in, like if I had a Biggie verse and I had Pusha T on the same record, that's out of here, like for real. So yeah, I would say that Pusha T and Biggie on the same record, produced by Conductor Williams.
That's a man that price didn't went up.
Yeah, Conductor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Say again.
I said that's a guy whose price just went up, big time. Conductor.
Yeah, exactly. You know, going back to expensive taste. Like
I got a homie who got like 3 Conductor beats on his project, but it was before he would start working with West Side Gun and then doing the Drake and all that. But
same thing with my man Overcast. Yeah. Like my man Overcast. I did shows with Overcast in like underground bars in Oakland 7 years ago. So to see him now, and he's still bigger than me. So to see him now, he was a judge at one of my producer battles that we did for Hip Hop for Change not too long ago for All-Star Weekend. But his trajectory is crazy. I mean, he was a Bay Area producer making boom bap records, and now he's on Drake albums, like perpetually, like the last few albums. So it's amazing when you see those kind of, especially boom bap or like that classic hip hop sound, for it to be at that elevated level. That to me is a win, right? Because things kind of went awry in one degree or another, and now they're coming back to something that's more what I would like to say. If you 40 and up, you really happy about how hip hop kind of turned the corner back to some shit that we really appreciate.
Absolutely, man.
You need some of the top tier artists to like kind of like validate it and use it. Yeah, like it's always been good, but they just got to be like, yo, what's good, and then everybody will gravitate.
Exactly, and I think it took. I would argue that it took the battle of 2024 for that to kind of change full circle, for people to want to hear substance in their lyrics. I think that entire battle became an indictment against corporately co-opted hip hop and the just kind of the contrived version of hip hop that we're often shoved into our face, and we're like, oh yeah, this is hot because we heard it 50,000 times because you paid a DJ to play it, as opposed to like Flex dropping a bomb on it because it's undeniable heat. You mean like having those cultural moments? So I think that whole battle shifted the paradigm to where people not only want to hear lyrics, they want to hear substance, they want to hear culture, right? And that kind of just broadens the scope. So yeah, we may still not make top 40, but we're still making noise within the culture. And I think that that's important. As long as we're making noise in the culture, I don't give a fuck about no top 40. You know what I mean?
Like top 40. I was about to say top 40 don't fucking matter. This is the culture, man. This is what we built. We always do here.
Exactly. And I think we get too swept up in these numbers because of the dopamine release, bro. Like it's really, you know what I mean? Like the dopamine dealer has replaced the crack dealer in our country. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like that's which is why you see all these ex-hustlers with podcasts. It's because they know how to sell dope. They know how to sell toxicity. They know how to sell dysfunction. And we eat it up because we've been sold it to ourselves as if that is the most authentic form of black and brown expression. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some of the base aspect of our human nature is now labeled as of the culture. and it's been monetized because people are getting a bag from it. And these are things that we have to kind of start to kind of question and interrogate, but that's within ourselves. That's, you know, we have to have that little come to Jesus meeting ourselves and really talk amongst ourselves about it before we make it publicly. You know what I'm saying? I can't do what D1 does and just malign a Meek Mill or a Rick Ross for what they like. I love these brothers. You know what I'm saying? These are young millionaires who got it out the motherfucking mud, and they nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't come for people like that and you don't got a record to give the culture. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love D1, but when we talk about like the music, we don't have one of those. There's not a D1 record that we can call back and say, yo, he gave us that, so I'm gonna listen to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain artists I'll give a pass because you gave me a record in high school that, you know what I'm saying? Or you gave me a record at a certain time in my life where I'm like, all right, I'll let you get away with that weird, funky shit you just said because I still got some records in my playlist from you. But there's certain artists it's like right message, wrong messenger type shit, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think the boy D1 is riding a wave right now. Like he got a wave and he just riding that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but that's virality for you. That's you know what I'm saying? It's about catching a moment and then doing enough to catch another moment, another moment. Like we're trapeze artists. We're on the trapeze, grabbing one rung and then trying to grab the other. And sometimes it slips from our fingers and we fall to grace. You know, you saw that with the Russell to one degree or another. You know, you saw that with a lot of artists where it's like we catch that moment and now it's about maintaining and then catching another moment so that you're out of here. But if you're based in culture, you don't need the moments. Because the culture validates you because of the work you've put in consistently. You know what I'm saying? So like what you see in me, what you see in Unlearn the World is the grind without a viral moment. I have no breakout record. I have no viral moment, but I'm still nice as fuck. I can out-rap 95% of the landscape. I've done features with legends. I've toured with legends. I have a career that I'm very satisfied with. If people pull my card and look at my rap sheet, they're like, yo, he's one of them. Cool. If I get the moment, great. We running it up. Trust me when I tell you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll do the brand deals and all the shit, but it's gonna all be authentic. But aside from having those moments, I'm still doing me. And I got a whole organization and I got a whole team of young boys who are ready to come in and change the entire trajectory of the music industry. So that's my ministry, and I'm cool with that.
Hey man, listen. Tell the people where they can get at you at your information, your acts, and all that shit, man. Tell them where they can get at you.
All the things, man. Unlearn the World as it sounds. You can follow me on Instagram. I don't do TikTok, even though I have an account, but I haven't updated that. I deleted the app off my phone, so I don't know what's on that thing. But, you know, Instagram, Tidal, YouTube, those are the best places. You know, follow my organization, Hip Hop, the number 4 Change on Instagram, but you could also check out our website, www.hiphopforchange.org. You know, consider being a donor, tap in with us, see how you can get involved wherever you are in the country. We want volunteers. We want people to join the movement, you know, and just keep looking out for new music, new visuals, you know, courses, motivational talks, all the things, man. I'm just really trying to elevate the culture. I think every rapper says that, you know, but I'm really trying to do it in a way that makes us more dependent on ourselves as opposed to corporations and late stage capitalism that's fucking up everything on earth.
Hey man, listen, look, I appreciate you, bro, for taking time out your busy schedule, helping past the show. I called you. You was like, no problem, as usual, and I appreciate that. Thank you, man. And listen, I wish you well in all your endeavors. If you ever need anything from me, feel free to reach out. I'm there. Everybody, this is Unlearn the World, man. Yeah, give it up for one time, man, for sure, definitely.
Appreciate y'all, brothers. Y'all doing a great thing here, man. Keep it up. God bless. The whole rebrand, crazy. You know what I'm saying? You responsible for this, Harris? I don't know. Like,
it's a collaborative effort, bro.
I love it.
Oh no! Why can't be half responsible for this shit? Like, come on, man. Damn.
I don't know. Last time I was on, it was just the IG, and then now Harris is here. We got.
Hey, listen. Let me say this. Harris was with us. He was just off that day. But me and him collectively came together and we did this. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, well, kudos to y'all brothers both. Y'all got a good chemistry going. I'm gonna make sure to do whatever I can to amplify y'all, because many hands makes for light work, and y'all doing the right shit. So salute.
Most definitely, I appreciate it. We
appreciate it, man. And we, like I said, now, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Welcome to it. This is another episode of Disciples of the Boom Bap. Like we said, go check our man, Unlearn the World. Now, this is what he does. A pillar in hip hop. We thank him for coming through. My man, Harris. Bad news. We get at y'all next week. You know what I'm saying? And we out this joint. Peace.
Yeah, peace.